Good morning. My hair is everywhere today. Good morning. Welcome back to the corner. My name is Lee, and I'm here in Pittsburgh, PA, to talk to you about crafty things. We, in this corner, discuss what I've been working on, what I want to work on, and my crafts include, but are not limited to, knitting, primarily, cross-stitch, sewing, crochet. And I got some stuff to talk about today. It's been a couple of weeks since I filmed, maybe even a few weeks since I filmed. I don't know. Time has been weird lately because I've been playing so much Tears of the Kingdom. Let's talk about crafting today. It's fine. It's perfectly normal to go through seasons and phases with whatever you want to use to occupy your time. And right now it's video games. It's a video game. And soon that season will have passed and I will be back to crafting all the time. But that being said, I still have a lot of things to talk to you about today, including some acquisitions, a new cast on, one finished object. Only one finished object all this time, and I only have one finished object, but you know what? That's fine. It's okay. We do this for fun, so there's no pressure. Let's just get right into it today. I don't have like a grand introduction. Let's talk about my finished object. It is in, nope, not that one. This one. It's in this bag. This is a really cute project bag from Haley of LeighKnits. Little unicorn bag. And I finished my first pair of socks that were started and finished during summer sock camp. Whips are allowed this year, so I have finished other pairs during summer sock camp, but this is the first pair I've started during summer sock camp and finished. And I finished my rainbow socks. They are super cute. I have one sock I have the ends woven in, the other one I do not, which is why they were still in the bag. I'm trying to keep up with weaving in my ends because I still have a basket of socks over here to the right, just off camera where you can't see. An entire basket full of socks that I have not like woven the ends in on. Oops. So I'm gonna try to keep up with them during camp. But these are done. They are for me. The yarn is a self-striping sock yarn from Area 51 Fibers. It is beautiful. I think it's called I'm Seeing Rainbows. I think that's correct. I don't have the tag on me. And the contrast color, I did a contrast heel, toe, and cuff, is Fioccolana Arvetta Classic in a lilac color. I don't know the name or number of this color either. It is also not handy. I did an afterthought heel. I just worked my cuff to the toe in a tube and then added in my heel. They are a hair small, but hopefully washing them, you know, gives me just that hair bit of extra room. I struggle a little bit with figuring out where to put the heel for an afterthought heel because it doesn't fit exactly the same as a short row heel for me. So I can't just like count exactly the number of rounds that I normally would put for the foot. But also I just, sometimes I have to have more rows than other times. So it's not consistent. Every single time it's like consistently a range of 62 to 68 rounds for my foot, but not a specific number at this point. It was for a long time, and I think that's the number that I have down in the description box in my vanilla sock recipe. But lately it's been kind of inconsistent, which is not great. It's been kind of annoying, but you know, it's fine. They fit just a hair short in the foot, and that's like fine. They're not too short to wear. But those are done. That is my only FO. Yay. All right, let's talk about whips. We'll stay on the sock train for now and show you where I am. So my next whip, I'm taking it out of the bag prematurely. The next whip is in my Christmas bag from Mountain State Stitches. I love this bag. I love Christmas. And these are a pair of socks for my brother. If you have been here for a few episodes, you know that I am trying to do 2 pairs of socks for my brother for his birthday in July. I'm doing my best. I'm gonna try to have them done in time to mail to him. But these are the first pair. This is 1 sock done. This is using my Bond Weave sock pattern. It is one of my patterns and I love it. It is a really, really nice, almost vanilla kind of sock pattern. And this is what it looks like up close. It's got a fun cuff. It's got a waffly texture. And I finished the first sock. It's got dog hair in it. That's great. I'm knitting the size medium on size 1 needles with a plumper yarn and a looser gauge, so they should fit my brother. And the second sock, I have gotten past the heel. Heel is done. I am working my way down the foot. I have a progress keeper here from Simply Serving that I love. For these, I am counting the number of texture rounds to match them to the sock, and this one is marking the last texture round before the heel. So I was able to match up the leg, and now I will be able to knit the second half of the sock, the foot, counting texture rounds just for the foot, so that they are the same size. Oh, the yarn. I am using Malabrigo Ultimate Sock. It is the newer sock yarn, sock base that Malabrigo came out with that has nylon in it, in the color Cereza, which is this rich tonal red. It's so red. And I think that's all I have to say about that. Not super exciting, but enjoyable. A mindlessly textured sock pattern is where it's at for me right now, and so this pattern is perfect for that. All right, next sock whip is this the only other sock whip I have that I've worked on? Yeah, because I haven't worked on my after hours socks. But I did start a new pair of socks. These are also in Malabrigo Ultimate Sock for my brother, which is why I went ahead and started them, because I need to have both of his socks done by his birthday. But Malabrigo Ultimate Sock, again, same as the last socks, but this is in the color 334 Peggy, which is my granny's name. And me and my brother share a granny, or share this granny. So that's nice. And I have started the first sock only and have made it past the heel. I don't know how I said that, but I've made it past the heel. And this is what they're looking like. This is the color. It's a really nice, like purpley gray, slightly variegated color. You can see that it is variegated enough to kind of be spiraling a bit. And I started these are also on a size US 1 needle, 64 stitches on the leg. That's what I started with because that's what I was doing for the Bond Weave socks, and they looked like they were going to be the perfect size. These are completely ribbed, a 2x2 rib, which means they're, of course, you know, all smunched up and look teeny tiny. Does not indicate the actual fit of the sock. A rib sock, I figure, would be safe for him because if they ended up being a little bit big, they would fit perfectly. But because of that, I decided that although I left 64 stitches for the leg, I increased for the heel to 80 or 80 to 68 stitches and have kept it at 68 for the foot. So I am working the foot in 68 stitches, which is what I have done for my brother in the past and what I do for Brad, my husband, as well. They wear like the same size sock. So I've adjusted from the leg to the foot to be larger. So hopefully the fit will be better. And I'm just working my way down the foot now. I have this Progress Keeper, which is a shark from Sock Week a couple of years ago. I cannot remember the name of the maker, but it's a beaded stitch marker. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I'm just making up the pattern as I go. I'm not using a specific pattern. I stopped the 2x2 rib a little bit early before the heel so that he could wear them in socks or in shoes more easily. I'm not having a great time with speaking today. This pair of socks is in one of my new project bags that I made for myself. This guy. I talked extensively about these project bags, this one and the other one that I'm about to show you, in my last episode, so I won't go into it here, but I'm enjoying them so much. That's the only other sock whip I have actively worked on, so that's it for socks. The next project I'm going to show you is a new cast on and also an acquisition. I could not wait to show you this yarn before casting it on, so I went ahead and cast it on. It is in this bag that I made, that I also talked about extensively in the last episode. I started a hat. We had a pop-up at my local yarn store with Ex Libris Fibers, Rita, and I bought a skein of yarn from her. I bought, here's the tag actually, I have it right here, Ex Libris Fibers. I bought a skein of her Shelly base, which is a worsted 3-ply 100% non-superwash merino Rambouillet blend, 100 grams, 240 yards, and I bought it in the color Glass Floored Stacks, which is a color that she designed based on the floors in the main branch of our local library. All of Rita's colors are book themed, bookish themed. So she did a collection based off of the library, the main branch library building here in Pittsburgh. And Brad and I go to this library all the time. We love going to the main branch. We like make a day of it and we go to the library and we get boba and maybe lunch, and it's just a good day always. I thought it would be nice. First of all, I loved the color, like visually incredible, but it was also very meaningful to me. So double duty. And I went ahead and cast on a hat. I have started, let me show you the cake of the yarn first. This is what it looks like. It very much looks like the floors in the library. In certain rooms of the library, there are floors that are, they're glass. They're panels of glass that are old and green and mucky and dirty and glorious, and it makes me feel like I'm on a ship. And this is exactly the color of them. I love them so much. And I started a Manhattan. I started a Manhattan hat, which is a pattern by Tori Yu. I think I should probably double check that before I tell you. I've been wanting to not finish anything and just cast on a bunch of different things. Yes, the Manhattan hat by Tori Yu. The worsted weight version, which I think is the original version. And it is a, like, you know that trendy hat shape that's like tall and kind of goofy looking? I really wanted one, so I decided to start this bad boy, and I've only gotten this far. It is an entirely 1x1 ribbed hat, which is, you know, great. Love that for me. It's on 16-inch circulars, so it's not as super easy to hold. But this is what it's looking like. I think this color is just gonna be so perfect for a hat. It's like neutral, but interesting. And I think it's gonna look great with my hair. I have this on 16-inch circular needles from Lika, or Luca, however you pronounce it. And my beginning of round stitch marker is, of course, from my dear Rochelle of Sassafras Knits. This is her little button mushroom progress or stitch marker that it's made of a glorious stone, and I love it. And I guess that's that. Oh, I'm knitting the size medium. I will be cutting it very close on yardage, but we're gonna see how it goes. I'm just gonna knit till I'm out of yarn, I guess. And that's that. The only other knitting project that I have been working on is a bit of a surprise, both to you and to me. But I pulled out of hibernation because I wanted to. In this giant plaid bag from World Market, my Fragmentation Shawl. I missed it. I wanted to work on something that wasn't socks. I wanted to work on this. So I pulled it out and I've been working on it. And I will show you exactly how much I have done. So my Fragmentation Shawl, this is a pattern by Stephen West, if you do not know. It is a modular shawl that is knit in wedges in 7 different colors. And I pulled out 7 skeins of my Mush Club yarn from Coast to Coast Yarn Co. from 2021, I believe. I had subscribed to the entire year. I got 12 Mush Club colors and I pulled out 7 of them to make my Fragmentation Shawl. And I am knitting this exactly to pattern. These are my 7 colors from the purple to the brown. I think the colors are Shiitake, Polypore, Understory, give me a second, Foraging Gold, Laetoporus, I think this is Gymnopolis, and Amethyst Deceiver. I think those are the colors. I feel like that's right. And since you saw this last, this thing's gonna be so big. I managed to remember when I picked it up out of hibernation to mark where I was. Are you proud of me? So last time you saw this, it was here. I was in this wedge, or I might have, or stripe. I think I might have been finished with this stripe. So since then, I have finished this entire wedge. It's worked this way. Finished this entire wedge and started wedge number 5 of 7. And I've done 4 stripes on wedge number 5. And it's just so much fun. I'm just gonna follow my heart and knit on this as much as I want until it's done, because I feel like I could probably get this done fairly quickly just because it's so nice. And it's all garter stitch. It's very short rows. It's just good. I highly recommend this. I highly recommend any of the Stephen West like modular type shawls. They're so much easier than they look. They go so much faster than they look, and you get this giant amazing thing at the end. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so warm, so big, so squishy, so nice. This yarn is actually an MCN base, so a merino cashmere nylon blend instead of just a sock base, and it is 2-ply, and I love it. It's got a little bit of a halo because of the cashmere. It's going to be so luxurious. And that's all I have to say about that, I think. That's the last whip I have. I did work a little bit on my cross stitch that I mentioned in the last episode, but not enough that I think you would be able to see a difference. So I'll probably show it like every couple of episodes or something, unless I happen to spend a week where I just like crank out a whole bunch of it. But unless that happens, you'll only be seeing it like every once in a while. So yeah, I also cut out a bunch of pieces for an outfit that I want to sew, but I haven't started putting it together yet, so I don't want to show that to you yet either. Yeah, everything else has been Tears of the Kingdom. I have been doing a big like wash of all of my knits and stuff because it's gotten warm and I'm scared of bugs. So that has also been happening behind the scenes. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I have several pairs of socks coming that I want to cast on, but I also don't want to cast on. Like, I'm having a really weird kind of relationship with socks right now. I think I just want to cast something on. I sat for a really long time this morning looking at patterns for summer tops because I kind of want to start another summer top. If you have recommendations, let me give you some context here. Okay, I have a shirt quantity of a Tencel yarn from Terrapin Fiberworks. It is a beautiful plant-based fiber that is not stretchy and very thin. It's a very light fingering, and I don't want my shirt to be see-through, so I'm gonna have to knit something at a different gauge, I think. But my favorite summer shirts that I've ever knit myself are the Rift Tee by Jacqueline C. Slack. I knit that out of linen, and the Moonset Tee by Ozetta, which I knit out of a like merino cashmere silk blend. But the Moonset Tee I love because it's very structured, it's very flattering. I adore the fit. I do not have enough yardage to knit another one of those out of this yarn. The Rift Tee, I do not have the correct yarn weight. I think what I might do is try to knit a Rift Tee adjusting the gauge. So I might just like swatch for the fabric I want and then adjust the pattern to that gauge. That's what I'm leaning towards. But if any of you have recommendations of tops with a similar fit to either of those that is written for a light fingering like light fingering weight yarn, something with no round yokes. Those do not fit me nearly as well as anything that is like more structured. I know the Rift Tee is like super not structured, but it's also not a round yoke. It's definitely knit like front and back, seamed, and then picked up for sleeves. That's the kind of fit I seem to like the best. I think it fits me the best. It feels the most comfortable on me. I have a really hard time with circular yokes like riding up in the front, like that. That's how I express my feelings of round yokes, especially for short sleeve tops. Like long sleeve gives a little bit more structure with a round yoke, so those are better for me. But I like a shoulder seam for a short sleeve top. So if you have any recommendations for anything that you think would be good for me for this, I have like 874 yards, I think that's what I have, or 894, something like that. High 800s for yardage. If you have a favorite, let me know what it is below. I don't know how I got off on that tangent, but I wanted to go on to acquisitions. All of my acquisitions today are, I do have some, but all of them are from work. This is a trap, y'all. Working at a creative reuse store is really a trap, but I found some goodies. The first two things I got are a book and a magazine. Let's show you the magazine first. I got McCall's Design Ideas Volume 10, prize-winning Afghans. This is a magazine from, I don't know, it just says Volume 10. What year were you published? 1982. I think this is from 1982. So pretty vintage. And there are some really wild things in here. They're all knit. No, they're not all knit. They're knit and crochet Afghans, or a combination of them. But there's some really, really interesting things in here. And I ended up deciding to buy it specifically for one very specific Afghan. But before I show you that Afghan, I want to show you the back here is an ad for Karen Dazzlere, which is a yarn, and they drew eyebrows on this baby. I'm so happy they drew eyebrows on that baby. But anyways, let me show you some highlights in here. I think that the first Afghans I'm going to show you are not the ones that I bought this for. I'll save that one for last. But this is, like, look at this guy. Isn't that incredible? I don't even know how they did that. Did they knit it and then embroider it? Is it color work? I don't know. There's this one. Maybe I'll have to try my hand at a few of these in here. There are some really ugly ones also in here. Ducks. You want a duck Afghan? And here's the one that I bought it for. This is the Autumn Bounty, designed by Connie Spence. It is crocheted. It's a crochet Afghan with crochet cables, and then it is embroidered via a cross-stitch style embroidery on top of the crochet. So this is like a project, but look at it. Isn't it incredible? It's got oranges. Oh, I love it so much. And you could do any combination of colors, like orange with, instead of that like rusty brown, you could do orange with like, oh, a cornflower blue or something, or a lilac to make it a little more springy or summery. That would be fun too. But it is so gorgeous, just the way it is. So I bought this just for that. I don't know if I'm ever gonna make it, but I wanted to have it handy in case I decided I wanted to, because why not? And that's the first one. The other thing I got is a book, and this is called Quilt As You Go Made Vintage by Jira Brandvig. This is it. And it's a Quilt As You Go book. I have never done Quilt As You Go, but it sounds like my kind of thing. I've always wanted to do a quilt, but it's such a big project. And quilt as you go sounds like the kind of thing that I can do while sitting on the couch. And quite frankly, that sounds incredible. So there are tons of projects in here that are really like my speed. I don't like the artsy quilts that are like images. I like really traditional style quilts. And you create them in like the smaller square motifs and then just attach them to each other. I'm assuming that is what is happening here. That's my understanding of what quilt as you go means. So that's a lot of fun. And there are so many projects in here that look so good, like so much fun. So yeah, this is the first quilt book I've bought for myself and I'm pretty pleased with the decision. We'll see if that's gonna happen anytime soon. I've wanted to make a quilt for a long time, but I've wanted to hand sew it. And this is the way to hand sew, I think, a quilt. Either that or English paper piecing, which I'm also very interested in. I've done like small scale English paper piecing and loved it, but I've never done like a full-size quilt of any sort. The last thing I got from work is a stash of fabric. I need to stop. I'm not allowed to buy any more fabric unless I have like a specific garment or thing in mind for it, because I keep buying like small bits of fabric that I'm like, oh, I can just make a bag. I'm cutting myself off from that. I'm not allowed to just buy fabric for a vague bag someday in the future. So I got some small bits of fabric that I shouldn't have. First, I got these 2 fat quarters. This one is a beautiful cornflower blue, like my favorite shade of blue, with little heart flowers on it. And then this one is just a really fun, like primary colored butterfly and flower motif. I got some solids. These are larger than a fat quarter, but I got some solids for to use with other things. And then I got a couple of prints. I got this really 90s floral, pastel floral. Oh, and then I got this really fun, super ornate floral, whatever I can't remember the name of that bandana type design. And that is not all. I also got some larger chunks of fabric. This one's not very big. This is a piece of flannel that is like 7/8 of a yard, which is fine. I might be able to make like a tank top out of this, like just a loose. That could be really nice. And then the last 3 are all garment quantities, I think. Yes, these are all garment quantities. I got a shirt amount of this fabric, which is almost 2 yards of this really gorgeous plaid. It's mostly rusty reddish orange color, but it has like these almost rainbow stripes. It's so cute. I love it. And then another plaid. This one is 1 3/4 of a yard, so also enough for a shirt. And the last one is not plaid, but this is also enough to make a garment. I don't remember exactly how much yardage there is on this, but it is enough to make a garment of some sort. And I got this jewel tone floral. It's got a really dark green background, very 90s with a teeny tiny floral. And then like maroon and yellow, golden yellow flowers. It's a vibe. My little capsule wardrobe. And that's what I got. That's all my acquisitions today. I need to go eat lunch. I'm getting hungry. Thanks for sitting with me today. Again, maybe next time I see you, I will have finished something, more than one thing, or at least another thing. I'll probably have cast on like 3 new things. Thank you so much for watching today. I will see y'all next time.